I started getting sick.
Yes.
With pancreatitis, which is a pretty deadly disease. It has a 50% mortality rate. Evidently, I had it pretty bad, and they told me they needed to rush me to the emergency room, which when I got there, they took my counts, and they said I was knocking on death's door. So that was pretty scary. We thought it was acute, which is just a one-time deal and wouldn't have to worry about it again. But then literally once a year for the next 9 years, I had it. And they never really came up with a reason why.
They didn't know. They were guessing. They even took your gallbladder, thinking it could be that. It might be diet. We tried that 1 year. That didn't. It was just like clockwork. And it always happened between a certain time of the year, too, between July and September.
Right.
He's hurting, and I can't fix it. And you feel helpless. So for me, that was very, very, very hard. And especially when the doctors have went through everything, medications and whatnot. I mean, there's just a whole laundry list of everything that they thought was it. And there's nothing that we could have done.
She literally
that I could have done.
She had to start planning what it would be like to raise our kids without me. I think that was probably one of the hardest realizations.
Yeah, especially the last time, that 9th time that you had pancreatitis. For me, I felt like I was strong and like every year, hope after hope, like, okay. And then that last time, I just broke. I just remember crying out to God and being angry and just thinking that this is it. And just no answer. So yeah, as a wife, you just feel helpless.
I think for me, it was when the doctor came in and told me to tell my wife and kids goodbye. He said, you're not going to make it if you keep going the way you're going. So then I had to make a change. Then our son started having it.
Yeah.
And as a dad, I don't mind getting sick. I can take it. But when my son got sick, I couldn't take that. You're never scared to go home yourself, but losing a child scared me worse than I could think of. Well, I received the Infinity Matrix. I wasn't thinking about my pancreas at all. You get to a point after death has spoken over you so much that you just kind of accept it. And so I just thought that was something I was going to live with forever and eventually die from it. So I didn't even go in to get the Infinity Matrix for my pancreas. I actually went in for my knee because just like my dad, for 20 years, I had been suffering with chronic knee pain. I told everybody it was a football injury, but it was actually from gymnastics. But that's okay. And so
you could have just told us.
No, football sounded way cooler. But about 5 weeks in, I was actually ATVing up in Arkansas, and my knee popped. Well, little did I know that the Infinity Matrix was working in my knee, and when it popped, it actually shifted everything back into place. About a week later, I was on a flight coming from Orlando back to Dallas-Fort Worth, and I realized that my knee wasn't hurting. Usually when I'd fly around the country, it was painful sitting in those cramped aisles. I'd have to shift a whole bunch. But I got off the flight and I realized my knee wasn't hurting, so I went back to my office, and my office was upstairs, and I ran up the stairs, and I had no pain. And that was weird because you get used to life in pain and you just accept it for what it is. Well, my son said, Dad, what do you think? Do you think this could help me with my pancreas? He went in, he received the Infinity Matrix, and a week later we were laying in bed. He woke us up and he said, Dad, it doesn't hurt.